Welcome back to the Open Road. I'm your host, Alex Lefriec, and the mid-level family sedan market is one of the most competitive in all of the automotive world, and probably for good reason. It's one of the purest definitions of what a car is. One such offering is the Sonata from Hyundai. The Sonata is in its third year without a real refresh, and as I said, competition is stiff, so is it still worth your hard-earned dollar, or should you look somewhere else? Let's hit the Open Road. The exterior of the Sonata is, well, it's pretty nice. It's very swept back looking. You've got the swooping tail lights, those 17-inch alloy wheels we've got look great, and I even like the white paint scheme. I do think this design will skew a little older than, say, the Optima, but hey, people in Arizona need cars too. The interior on the Sonata is very hit or miss, so here we go. Let's start with the instrument panel. As usual, tack on the left, speedometer on the right. They're both easy to read, but the infotainment screen in the middle is a real disappointment. It's very small, it's black and white, and although you can scroll through things, it leaves all of this real estate on the top and bottom that's just blank and looks weird. It is cool, though, that they have the fuel and temperature gauges built into the other gauges, but they really need to fix that infotainment screen. Hyundai did a great job with the center stack. You can adjust your heating and cooling with this cool little animated guy. The screen above it is very easy to use, and with these slightly angled inset controls, it even reminds me a little bit of an Infiniti. Some things I don't like. There's a lot of hard plastic on the dash. The seats, they aren't the most comfortable things in the world, and I would go without this sort of burgundy leather scheme. I like it in cars like the new Mazda 6, but in here it just looks like somebody sort of did this aftermarket. It doesn't look integrated. Not really a fan. Moving on to backseat legroom and headroom. I'm 6'2" all leg, and I can just barely fit back there. My head barely touches the top and my legs barely touch the front, but that's pretty good because most people aren't as tall as I am. And things stay positive when we get to the trunk as well. It is truly cavernous. It is class leading. You can fit all sorts of stuff back there, and it also has a pass-through for any skis or poles, so it earns high marks there. The other place it earns high marks is safety. This is a 5-star safety rated car and gets 5 out of 5 stars in almost every test. So when I crash while I'm driving through the city giving this test, I know I'm going to be safe. Our tester is the Sonata Limited, which has all sorts of goodies, including heated seats, 2 sunroofs, Sirius satellite radio, navigation, a good stereo, although it doesn't have a name brand. The list goes on. Under the hood, the Sonata boasts a 2.4-liter direct injection 4-cylinder, putting out 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque. This is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, and the whole package will get you 24 mpg in the city and 35 on the highway for a combined 28 mpg. In real-world driving, I've been getting about 22 to 23, although I have been doing more city driving than highway. The engine is actually quite torquey. The transmission is smooth. Really, my only gripe is there is a little bit more engine noise than I would expect from a car in this class. Ride and handling in the Sonata are pretty solid. The steering is a little numb, although not as bad as the Santa Fe I tested last week, and you don't get Hyundai/Kia's variable steering weight options, but it's not terrible. The ride is pretty smooth, although, as I mentioned, there is a little more engine noise than I would like. Overall, it's going to do just fine for your average family hauler. You can get into the Sonata for about 20 grand. Our tester, with all sorts of goodies, comes in at $29,855, which is pretty comparable with the rest of the competition. Speaking of the competition, there are some models that I would take over the Sonata. The Passat is a personal favorite of mine, even if people think it's a little bland. You can never go wrong with an Accord, and the new Mazda 6 is one of the best sedans to come out in years. The styling is edgier, the interior is more modern, and the gas mileage is phenomenal. So, it's not that the Sonata is a bad car, there are just other offerings that are better. Make sure to leave a comment and like us on Facebook and Twitter. The links are in the descriptions. For the Open Road, I'm Alex Lefriec. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. pick your setting. Ah.